Mr. Yitzhak Rappaport is an electrical engineer. In 1973, at the outbreak of the Yom Kippur War, he was working for the Israeli Air Force.
During the Yom Kippur War, as you well know, the Israelis suffered a serious setback the first days. So the first couple of days, actually the first 3 days, the Israeli planes, the pilots fell like flies. It was close to impossible to continue. As a matter of fact, the commander of the base where I was, he himself took off, and he was also shut down. After the war, I can only speak for the Air Force, I know the other parts, but the Air Force decided to resupply itself with the latest and best. The reason for all this setback was that the Israelis were still playing 67 war with the technology that they had. And the Russians have supplied very advanced, very sophisticated equipment to the Arabs. So a mission was declared to go to the States to investigate and find the appropriate equipment, because not everything would suit the Israeli environment. We're talking about distances that are minuscule. The candidates was chosen, and as it happened, there was myself and one guy from Mate Klali, that's the Israeli Pentagon in Tel Aviv. We arrived in New York, and we were taken straight from the plane to Manhattan, where the Israeli Air Force mission is. So that evening is when I had the yeshidas. So again, all the achonos, the preparations, and writing the zettel. So what I had to write, the usual, I guess, my chitas, my kviyasitim litera, some involvement I had with Shamir and Professor Brunner going and helping out the Russian immigrants. So I was selling myself to them on that settle. I put it all I could, but I didn't mention anything about the mission there. So when I came in and I handed in the settle to the Rabbi, he looked at it. But not much has happened there along the lines of what was in the settle. The first question he asked me was, what am I doing in New York? So I didn't want to lie. I just said that I'm on a mission from work. So I described him the situation, that this is a post-Yom Kippur War kind of problem that has to be fixed. And we have to take care of a lot of the issues that came up, that we didn't have the technology that was necessary to really properly engage in battle. And so from that, it went into more and more sort of detailed descriptions and detailed sort of explanations. And again, questions on one end, and then my answers, and we went through the discussion went through very thorough, sort of detailed analysis of what was happening. And as we were talking, it was interesting that I realized many of the things I just don't know the answers, even though I thought I was the expert on the subject matter. And yet, I didn't know the answers to some of the issues. Here's an example as the evasive technique to get away from the infrared missile. So the question is, what is the difference? What's called the spectral footprint of an engine? I didn't know what it is, and the same went on for other things. And so later on, I realized that discussion, as much as I kind of was impressed and taken back by the fact that even though I knew that the Rebbe had an engineering degree, but this was always, Makivdik never really played any role in my thinking or my image of the Rebbe. So therefore, it was, shall I say, pleasantly surprising that I was able to just conduct a discussion like this on a very technical engineering level. And obviously with someone that understands the subject matter, and as it turned out, even deeper than I would have expected. And moreover, he actually, I actually walked out with a lesson from that, because I was seeing things from 1 foot from my face. But the Rebbe kind of lifted me up 15,000 feet up. And from there, I saw a very different picture. And in that picture, there were holes that I had to plug, which I had to do in order to succeed with the mission. So Rabbi helped me with the mission itself.